Hello, everyone. I am Dani Palacio, and I'm your host of Awakingmoment podcast. And if this is the first time you're joining us, it is the first episode of the second year of this offering, and I want to welcome you. So I'm so glad that you found me and this podcast. It's a beautiful community of people. This particular week is an interesting one for me because, I don't know, maybe a month or 2 months ago, I was preparing to do a podcast on a goddess. I have a goddess series, and there's 5 goddesses for this year, and I couldn't do it. I did the research. I looked at how I could bring it all together, but it really wasn't resonating for me. I didn't know how to bring it forth in a way that would be relative to this current environment, life experience. And so I let it go. And I actually shared about it on the podcast that I was supposed to release for this particular goddess. And it was a beautiful learning, a beautiful opportunity to just accept that when we have things planned, sometimes they just don't work out and you got to go with the flow. And ever since that, I will say that energy of fluidity and flowing with life really has shifted several things in my life. So I am very grateful that today, when I sat down to really tune in to what this podcast was going to be about, that goddess showed up. Welcome to the Goddess series within a Waking Moment podcast. And today I'm going to share with you about a divine feminine goddess that holds a lot of divine masculine energy. And I think the duality of what we think of feminine and masculine is an opportunity to let go, because in all honesty, our souls are androgynous. There is no male or female characteristic or labeling. We are just energy. And I don't mean just in the smallest kind of way. I mean, we are all energy all the time, eternal, never ending, only moving, transforming, expanding, contracting. We are never destroyed. And this goddess's name is challenging for me to pronounce. So I want to do a little disclaimer. And I am not well versed in East Indian traditions, nor their gods or goddesses. I have a few of my favorite, of course, but they're fairly mainstream. This particular goddess is not mainstream. She is ancient, and I feel honored to be able to bring her name back as well as her story and update you as to who she has become in our current environment. And so I apologize for my pronunciations, and because they are not correct. I have actually even listened to it on Google pronunciation several times, and I'm just going to say it the way I say it, and I hope that it energy wise it still resonates with you. And then there's a lot of history that I'm actually not going to cover. I found that to be too mental, and this podcast is not about staying in your mind. It is about what you feel and what you intuit. It is about finding what resonates for you and then allowing that energy, that frequency, to expand you or to help you release what no longer serves you. So I'm not going to go into all of her history. And I hope that you still find it useful. I believe that when the goddesses showed up last year, when I was meditating on what to bring forth in this podcast, I believe they each had a purpose. And she, this one that I'm about to introduce, definitely has a purpose. And I find her energy highly resonating in this moment. So sit back, enjoy. If you're walking, enjoy. If you have the opportunity to just sit and listen, if you're driving, enjoy. Wherever you are, this is a message for you. Korravai is a goddess from ancient traditions. We're talking thousands of years ago. She is from Tamil in India. It's a region that I had no idea even existed, yet the history of that particular region is rich and has so much to offer, opportunities to learn, to shift, to experience a different culture that we are currently in our culture, wherever you are. And she is the goddess of war, and she also can be represented as fertility, agricultural kind of energies, and she's also named the guardian of the forest. So her persona, her qualities that I typically talk about from a archetypical type of opportunity to really look at the qualities that we might be able to emanate or to embrace or to call in or to remember. She's a little confusing because over the course of all these thousands of years, she's transformed, which I think is part of the truth of why she wanted to be talked about today. So I want to step into our current world environment. And I live in Oregon, part of the United States of America. And I have cultural history from my heritage. I'm Mexican and Irish. I've traveled a lot in my life and have had the beautiful opportunity to experience other cultures, other ways of living, different forms of the divine. And it's been a blessing. And it's been a journey of reclamation. And so she comes in today, Korravai. She's asking you to let go of what you think you are or where you think you've come from and allow yourself to be what is true and what is heartfelt for you. Her years of transition and change, the one thing that has consistently been with her as an archetype, as a metaphor, as a way of truly understanding her beauty is that she's not only the goddess of war, but she's the goddess of victory. So if we look at that externally in our world, there are wars going on, some pretty big ones. I will acknowledge that there is tension, that there are atrocities occurring, that there are people dying. Let's just be really blunt about it. People are dying, not of their own free will, of someone else's perspective, belief, sets of laws, rules. And then there is the other form of dying and war, which is the internal. And that's kind of where I want to focus today, because when we look for our identity externally and we see what's being mirrored back, like what is being shown to us, it's corruption, it's devastation, it's death, it's injustice, it's things that don't make sense in our mind that almost wound our inner self, that divine essence within us. There is a trauma that is occurring. And this goddess stands up today and says, you can shift, you can change. And the only thing you really need to be aware of is that the war within you can be overcome. You can have victory. And victory is something that we don't often claim. We feel good about our accomplishments. We acknowledge big life changes, graduations, weddings, even like baptism if you're in the religious perspective, or job promotions, motherhood, fatherhood. So those are all okay in our society, right? We can celebrate that. We can claim the joys. But do we claim the victory within it, within ourselves? I don't think we do. I don't actually do that very often. And as I've worked with Korravai, she has taught me that every win, every step closer to my authenticity, every opportunity to express what scares me is my victory of my soul, the victory of my joy, the victory of why I am here on this planet, even talking to you today via this podcast. I am victorious, and so are you. And we got to shift our perspective a bit, because I mentioned that I am Mexican and Irish, and I grew up in Minnesota, and I've had some serious trauma, issues, challenges that became this internal war about who I am and why I am and what I'm worth and what if I'm enough. And we all struggle with those things. Doesn't matter where the origin story started or what the event that triggered that internal critic of questioning, am I worthy? Do I have the ability to love? Can I receive love? What's happiness? What's this whole thing about, self-awareness and healing? Why, like, do I deserve it? There's a big thing around guilt and remorse and regret. All of that is war. That is the internal fight, the internal war that you experience on a daily basis. And sometimes as we grow and change, that internal war has victories. We don't think the same. We don't feel the same. We gain experience. We gain insight. We shift perspective. We invite in love. We invite in holiness to honor our divine holy self. And that's victory. It's not just a good thing. It's not just a thing to be happy about. I'm a big believer in celebrating. I love celebrations. And I'm going to start to really talk about celebrations as victories. And that word is critically important. There are a lot of different words, right? But victory is something that I want to invite into your life, and I want you to invite it in as I say it. Let this goddess, Korravai from Tamil, bring in the truth of victory. And you need to have war, conflict, to have victory in some ways. And the relationship between the two is a really beautiful opportunity to look at contrasts. I talk about it from a light and darkness perspective. There are lots of different ways to frame it, a duality, and whatever resonates with you about recognizing that there is this and then there is that. Again, I'm going to encourage you not to judge them as good or bad, right or wrong, because they just are. And I've said it before and I'll continue to say it. When we allow what is to be, it will naturally reveal itself as something that either adds to your life or takes away or distracts you from your life. So she's also the mother of the Hindu god of war. So the ancestral DNA lineage continues from her to her son, who is the male god of war. And in Tamil, she was celebrated, worshipped. She had her own pantheon where people would come and pilgrimage and give offerings because they wanted the freedom from the persecution, from the violence, from the conflict of war. And so when they gave her offerings and they prayed to her, it was for them to be liberated, which is victory. And so now she's thousands of years of this, and there's so much history. There are statues, there are writings, there's poetry about her and about the people that loved her, that honored her, which was so inspiring. I'm going to leave some links at the summary because if you're interested, if this piques curiosity, I want you to have the same resources that I had when I was studying her. And so today, modern day, and today is like relative term in East Indian culture because their culture has been around for so many thousands of years. It's so ancient and so interesting and complex. There's so many dialects, so many versions of spirit and God and goddess and offerings and the way of living. It's no surprise that their traditions of yoga, meditation, Ayurvedic medicine is becoming more and more popular. I have so many friends that are yoga teachers that do yoga daily, that really embrace that Eastern Indian way of being and feeling and existing. So that's even more that you could investigate when you start to read about Korravai. So what is her current name? Durga. I giggle because Durga is a goddess that I told you I had a few from from East India, and it's true. Durga is one of my mainstay go-to goddesses. She is a mother, a fierce and protective mother. She often is seen on a big lion, and she really truly is this goddess that protects, that knows her power. She's called Ma Durga because she's the mother Durga, and she is a mother that will embrace you. She's a goddess, obviously, but she holds a mother quality, which means everything she does is from love, and she's inviting you to receive her love. I have sat with Durga and chanted to her for years because in the struggle of who am I, what am I doing, meeting individuals that really tested my resolve, that challenged me in ways that shook me to the core, people that have broken my heart because my love and the way that I love wouldn't, wasn't seen, honored, accepted. Durga was the one that I would be like, oh, Durga, save me, liberate me, help me overcome. I never use the word victory with her, but I'm going to from now on. So there you have it. I mean, that in a nutshell, that's the goddess that we honor today. Goddess Korravai, also known as Durga. And so that feels really wonderful to share with you. It's a beautiful opportunity again to reach back in history, centuries of history, and bring in the wisdom and own the internal war. And when you see it out in the world, there's a lot of perspectives going on. I see them all the time on social media. I don't watch the news, so I hear about them or I might read about them. The constant struggle, the strife, the injustice. Even here in North America, there's a lot of conflict around politics, political perspectives, beliefs, and I'm recording this the day after 4th of July. North America, nope, can't even say that. The United States of America's Independence Day. And we, as Americans, have taken that as a general America. And I want to encourage you to stop doing that. That is so disrespectful when you think about it. And it is not accurate. And if you care about accuracy, then we are one part of America and we are one part of North America. And if you are a citizen of the United States of America, that's exactly what this land is called, the United States of America, even though most of us will know that we are not a United States of America. We are not. We are 50 states, unique, and some are a little more aligned with each other than others, but it's a constant struggle. It's a war for resources, for a way of living that each individual state and even city, even region values more than another. That's not victory. That's conflict. It's not unity. It's separation. And so when that comes charging into your life, you are not that. You are an eternal soul that was created from unconditional divine love. And you are a spark, a light. And when we set that down, we close our hearts. We close our ability to have newness, possibility, growth. And if you are in that for justice, if you are in that because your soul is calling you to stand up, take a stand, speak your truth, I'm right there with you. But if it overwhelms you, it shuts you down, it monopolizes you, you become obsessive about what is external, that is not why you're here on this planet. You are here to know yourself and love yourself. And the external, the way that I view it, is a mirror to ask myself, where is that within me? Whatever it is. War, animals, people, nature. If there's something jarring or even something beautiful, where is that within me? How can I embrace and embody what is being shown to me. And if it's something that I don't agree with, that I don't like, that I physically get ill or physically have constriction because of it, how can I heal it? How can I release it? And in a tradition from Hawaii, Ho'oponopono, it's generally known as the 4 statements that are a prayer. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And that is the simplified version. There are original prayers, ways of thinking, tools to utilize that change us within us. And then that change within us helps all other forms of that same vibration and energy to change, to shift into love. I wanted to bring that up because sometimes we don't know how to set the boundary to not allow the external to define our internal. So just that's a deep one. So just take a deep breath with me, because what I've shared today is big, you guys. It's not a simple history of a goddess. It's a way of being, and I'm asking you to shift, to change, to invite this wisdom in and do your work. So, big breath in and a nice exhale. And if that felt good, do it again. Breathing in through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. I want to thank you. If you've made it this far, I want to thank you for being open, for being willing, and for contemplating all that I've said. This is my truth, and I stand by it. I stand up for it, and I am grateful to have the opportunity to share it with you. Whatever resonated with you, ponder, keep it, embrace it. And whatever you instantly rejected, invite back in for just a moment to sit with it. And if it doesn't resonate with you and you think I'm crazy, so be it. Leave it all behind. It doesn't matter. And if it did somehow get in to the subconscious mind or into the spark of your spirit, it will resurface. I trust that. Thank you. Thank you for being here. And please continue to share this podcast. Subscribe if you haven't already. Like it, share it on social media, share it in a text message with your friends and family, people that you might think of when you're listening. I really appreciate it. It is the most honoring way for my growth of this podcast and the services that I offer is personal referrals. And I can market till I'm blue in the face, and it's not even close to one referral. So again, with great gratitude and sincere divine love and love for my own being, I send it to you, and I wish you all the very best, and may your heart and soul lead the way.